I talked to a gal yesterday. Actually, she's a professor at Yale, and she called me up and she wanted to know about my Truth Treatment products, and she suggested to me that I tell you guys which product you should buy if you only want to buy one product. First of all, I know the products seem like they're pricey. They seem expensive. They're not really, because they last so long and because there's nothing in the bottle or in the jar that your skin's not going to use. So compared to other products, it's actually, in the long run, it's actually pretty cheap. But if you don't want to come up with whatever it comes out to I think it's $700 to buy all 4 products, go for the Truth Serum. That's the first one to buy, is the Truth Serum. Now, the retinol gel, I know a lot of you guys are buying just the retinol gel, and I'm selling a bunch of it, and that's great. But if you're just using the retinol gel by itself, you're not going to get the maximum benefit that you would get as if you use all the nutrients together. That is, all the vitamin C products together, especially the omega-6 healing cream. Omega-6 healing cream and the retinol gel work really well together. But if you just want one product, I would recommend that it's the Truth Serum. And thank you, Dr. Sparkle, for pointing that out to me and suggesting I bring that up. Truth Serum is the first one to try. Anyway, truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. We also have a blog with cool skincare information. I've been in the skincare business, as you guys know if you've been listening to this program, for 30 years. I started with the Blistex Corporation in 1983. So what is that? 33 years almost. And I've learned a lot about the skin, and I know a lot about the skin. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm saying that because I'm here for you. Nothing ticks me off more than people who claim to be healthcare professionals or skincare professionals, and they know nothing about health or nothing about the skin, and there's lots of them out there. It's the blind leading the blind. And skin, while it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, it's certainly not life-threatening if you have a skin problem or thin skin or acne-prone skin or dry skin or wrinkly skin. It's not like the end of the world, but it's a big deal for us from a practical standpoint. Nobody wants to have yucky skin. We assess each other based partially, at least, on how our skin looks. Not only that, if you have a skin problem, rest assured, it ain't hanging out there in a vacuum. If you have a skin problem, you got an everything problem. You can't have a skin problem. There's some certain fundamental things that I've learned over 30 years of being in the skincare business, 33 years. Number one, probably the most important thing I've learned, nobody just has a skin problem. Nobody just has a skin problem. This is so important. If you have eczema, you've got other things going on. And you can't treat your skin condition without treating the other things, or without treating the underlying cause of all the breakdown. So if you have eczema, which is an inflammatory condition of the skin, you got an inflammatory condition of the digestive system also. That means you got digestive problems. Nobody has eczema without underlying digestive condition, period. Unless, let me take that back. Rarely you'll get what's called contact dermatitis, which is a topical irritation or inflammation, not irritation, but inflammation that can lead to rashes. But it's the vast majority, 99.99% of the time, eczema is an internal condition, a digestive condition. Likewise, psoriasis. Likewise, acne. Likewise, dry, crepey, old, wrinkled, thinning skin. And if you do have thinning skin, you got thinning bones too. And if you have thinning skin, you got thinning blood vessels too. So if you have thinning skin, it's not just cosmetic, although that's maybe relevant. If you're thinning, if the body is thinning, it's basically like the Wicked Witch of the West at the end of The Wizard of Oz. Remember, what does she say? The last thing she says, her last words, the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm melting. I'm melting. This is what happens as we get older. We melt. We dissolve. We thin. We disappear. So the trick is to turn the thing around. Turn the process around. Go from thinning to thickening. Thinning is largely, not only, there's some other things involved, but largely a fat issue. And because fats are difficult to process, fats don't come out of foods readily, fats are unstable and break down, because of all of these issues, many of us, most of us, don't get enough fats into our blood. I'm not saying via food, we may be eating the foods, but we may not be absorbing them. But it's not getting into the blood one way or another. Dry skin, thin skin diseases, skin aging. These are largely, mostly fat issues. And if you've been listening to this program for the last month, you know why. Fats don't get processed easily. And understanding this whole distinction between fats and water, fatty stuff and watery stuff, is key. It's so important if we're going to fix ourselves. And that's what it's really all about, you guys. It's fixing ourselves, being our own authority. That's really, to me, that's what's really going to get us over the hump, if we ever do get over the hump in our seemingly deteriorating, degenerating world, is if we begin to understand that we have to become our own authorities. There are power structures in place that could give a rat's you-know-what about us, and they're represented by the medical model. At least that's what we use as a representative on this program. But the government's the same way, and there are all kinds of authority trips everywhere. Police and military and politics and legal and IRS, and everywhere we look we have authorities. Well, there's lots of radio shows and podcasts where they talk about that, internet sites, and where they talk about how our power is being removed from us, extracted from us daily via politics and government, etc. But we do it here in terms of health, because to me, health is the ultimate insult when it comes to stealing our power and creating an authority model. So you got to understand the basics. Otherwise, our power is going to be stolen from us, and it has been. And that's why we're so darn sick. The body is so darn sick, even though it's a system that's meant to be healthy. That's why the body's degenerating, even though the divine force and nature and everything you could think of that runs the body, from the chemistry to the molecular nature, is based on regeneration. We're degenerating in a regenerative system. All right, we'll continue when we come back.
When he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV.
A lot of people's lives and bodies are out of balance. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops optimize pH level and get rid of harmful waste and acid. Just a few drops in water restores vibrance and energy and gets you back in balance. Now order 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Sign up for monthly auto shipping and save 25%. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
Talking about fatty vitamins, fatty nutrients, and ways that you can help the body process those fatty vitamins and fatty nutrients. Topically, fats, of course, basically you're looking at vitamin A and vitamin C, but you can also get some benefits from essential fatty acids put on the skin. You got to be really careful with essential fatty acids if you're going to use them on the skin. Omega-6s particularly. The skin is a source of omega-6 fatty acids. Not a source, but it's a storage reservoir. There's lots of omega-6 fatty acids in healthy skin. In healthy skin. In unhealthy skin, there's not so much. That is very interesting. What that tells you is omega-6 fatty acid deficiency is a problem. Now, that's kind of interesting because you hear the opposite from a lot of nutritionists. They'll tell you, oh, don't worry about your omega-6s because we get them in grains, in grain oils. Well, it's true, theoretically. We should be getting them in grain oils, but we're not because we fry and we cook and we heat and we destroy these things. That's the problem with oils. The oils, first of all, to come out of a seed, like something like corn oil, to come out of the corn grain or the soy oil or sunflower oil, whatever kind of oil, grain oil we're talking about here, it's got to get processed out of that seed. This is why you always want to look for cold processed. Even then, you're going to still generate heat just getting the stuff out of the seed. But most oils are not cold processed. They're solvent processed, or they're sometimes heat processed. So between the processing, just the processing alone is going to destroy the omega-6s. It's going to at least reduce the amount of omega-6s that are in the oil. But then we cook with the oil. Then we heat the oil. So most of us are going to be deficient in omega-6 fatty acids, and that shows up on the skin as we get older. It also can show up on the skin if you have acne. The oils, sebum, skin oils, contain omega-6s if we're healthy. Omega-6s are liquidy. They flow. Remember, these unsaturated fatty acids are like liquids, and they have an ability to help things flow. That's what makes them so important. One of the reasons why they're so important. Essential fatty acids, and it's the reasoning behind it, or the mechanism behind it, is so amazingly cool. It all has to do with electromagnetics and repulsions and how positive charges repel each other. And I'm not going to get into it because I know some of you guys are rolling your eyes right now, but it's super cool. And the net result is EFAs have a liquefying effect on things. They improve the movement, the flow of things. That's why they're in the cell membrane. In the membrane, they help the membrane have this kind of flowy quality. When we don't get enough EFAs in the diet, omega-6s in particular in the diet, we don't get enough omega-6s in the diet, or we're not absorbing them, or we have a gallbladder missing, or we have a liver problem, or we have an intestinal problem, whatever reason, an enzyme issue, our cells will incorporate harder fat, and the cells will not be flowing as well. Our sebum will become stickier, and it won't flow as well. Our skin oils will become stickier, and they'll clog up the pores. Omega-6s are an amazing way to deal with oily skin or acne issues. But you always want to take your omega-3s with your omega-6s. I know I said omega-6s, but omega-3s are also important. Omega-3s, by the way, do the same thing that omega-6s do, but more for the brain and the eyes and the nervous system. That's why they're so important for developing babies, for fetuses. So omega-3s have the same kind of effects in a cell that the omega-6s do, but more for nerve cells and brain cells. Omega-3s also, from a hormonal standpoint, because EFAs also play a role in hormones, in the production of hormones, a very special kind of hormone that nobody ever talks about. And I don't want to freak anybody out with the name, but they're called eicosanoids. You don't have to worry about the name of it, but they're a very, 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 very special class of hormones that have to do with how things have to do with inflammation. If you want to know one thing about fats, this is it right now, all right? Or essential fatty acids, I should say. If you want to know one important thing, or the most important thing about essential fatty acids, omega-3s and omega-6s, they are the capital T, okay, capital T, H-E, major players in inflammation and anti-inflammation. Now, there's zillions of other things about EFAs, but if I want to tell you one thing about them, this is it right now. Via this whole eicosanoid phenomena, they are the players in inflammation and anti-inflammation. Why is that important? Because inflammation is disease, period. Inflammation is disease. Now, you need to have some inflammation. So I'm saying that, with a little bit of a caveat there. But the disease process is part and parcel of the inflammatory process running amok. And the reason we degenerate instead of regenerate is because inflammation gets in the way. Inflammation is heat. Inflammation is swelling. Inflammation is clogging. And the major players in inflammation are the essential fatty acids. And that means taking them, and that means helping your body process them. That's why we talked about bile. That's why we talked about the liver. That's why we talk about the intestine. And bile is super duper important for all of it's important for a lot of reasons. It clears out poisons, clears out hormones, clears out drugs, clears out heavy metals, and it helps you digest your food. And it sets the way, prepares the way for pancreatic enzymes, and it's important for at least in terms of what we're talking about here today, it's important for helping the body extract EFAs from foods. Ultimate enzymes also important. The ultimate enzymes, by the way, contain bile. Ultimate enzymes are important on their own. Lipase, L-I-P-A-S-E, is important for helping the body process fats, but also the bile salts. You can always take extra bile salts. Use bitter veggies. There's a couple of amino acids that the body uses to help make bile, taurine and glycine. And taurine you're going to have to supplement with. It's not really found in a lot of foods. 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams of taurine if you have gallbladder issues or if you want to just have better fat absorption. Glycine, that's your bone soup. Glycine is found in cartilage. Glycine is a super underappreciated amino acid. It's the smallest amino acid, and it is unbelievably medicinal. It's like a little tiny nugget amino acid. And I'll tell you, theoretically, it's not an essential amino acid, but I've talked to people who test blood all the time, and they say glycine deficiency is very common. And it's unfortunate because glycine is a fundamental building block and easy to get from cartilage and from high-protein foods, beans and eggs, etc. Lecithin can also help you, and I'm going to spend some time talking about lecithin. Man, that is unreal when it comes to helping the body process fats. And lecithin is a component of bile. By the way, there's a relationship between bile and the microbiome. The microbiome is the bacteria. All those gut bacteria. We're hearing this every day. No lie. Every day I read another study about how important, how fundamental gut bacteria are. And they are. And I'm going to tell you right now, the gut bacteria is the core of the digestive system. So all disease begins in the gut, period. All degenerative disease begins in the gut. But all gut disease begins in the microbiome. So the microbiome is the core of where the disease process begins. And it makes sense when you think about it. Number one, given all the things that the microbiome does, that the bacteria do, from making vitamins to supporting the immune system to detoxification. But also when you add in the fact that most of us are taking antibiotics or drinking antibiotic-laden beverages and water or eating antibiotic-laden food. Of course we're going to have gut problems. You can't not. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with your phone calls right after this on The Bright Side. Don't go away. If you're built thin, if you're lean and mean, that's a good thing, but that's when you're going to have higher risks of thinning of the body as you get older. And it's the body types that are lean body types that tend to have the problems with thinning skin and osteoporosis and even circulatory problems as well. The estrogenic body type, that's the body type that's round and buxom and thick hair and, you guys know what I'm talking about, curvy. That body type is going to be at lower risk because estrogen is a thickening substance. Estrogen is a growth substance. The more estrogen you're carrying, the more body fat you'll have. Estrogen and body fat go together, and you'll be at lower risk for these kinds of health issues. But if you're built lean, that's a good thing, but you have to take extra care with your fats. And by the way, osteoporosis is not a disease. It's gotten called a disease and we medicate it. It's a sign of deterioration, of degeneration. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's none of the drug companies' business. And by the way, there's a reason why anti-osteoporotic drugs that you hear advertised on TV by movie stars, I don't know how they live with themselves, are among the deadliest and toxic of all medication. They're called the bisphosphonates. And they are awful, awful, awful drugs. I mean, really bad. They can actually kill your bone, your jawbone. There's a horrible jawbone disease that occurs with some of these drugs. Anyway. All right. A couple more things I want to say. You guys hear about Frankenfish? Frankenfish was a movie that came out, I think, maybe 10 years ago. But now it's actually a food. It's a genetically engineered salmon that the FDA has approved. You got food now that has to get approved because it's not even food. And here's the best part. It's not going to be labeled. They don't want you to know when the fish is Frankenfish. Now, I'm not... Genetic modifications, I don't want to get off on that, but the idea that we can't be told what kind of food, what our food is about, that doesn't seem right. Does it seem right to anybody out there? That it should be hidden? What's the secret? Nobody will buy it, probably, is the secret. And oh, by the way, you can expect to see the same thing with meat here in probably less than 5 years. Test tube meat. You're going to see fake meat, vegetarian-friendly meat, because it ain't meat. It's synthetic. Yes, synthetic meat. Can you imagine this? I don't know how the heck they're going to make that stuff taste good, but that's what's on the way. And I'm probably less than 5 years, probably 3 years or so, you'll start to see the first ones, and it'll have some some cool name. The fish, by the way, is going to be called. What the heck is it going to be called? It has I forgot what it's called. Advantafish or something, or Aqua Advantage salmon. So I have these cool names. Anyway. 844-236-6010. Let's go to June in Pennsylvania. What's up? Welcome to the Bright Side, June.
Good morning, Dr. Ben.
What's cooking? Pharmacist Ben now.
I called you a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't have a chance to talk, so you asked me to call back.
Okay.
I'm dealing with hypertension, bloating, and gas.
Okay.
I start my day with alkaline water. I'm a vegetarian. I walk 3 to 4 times a week.
Don't tell me the good stuff unless you want a brownie point, because that's not going to help. That's not going to help.
I don't do
Tell me the bad stuff. I got to fix you.
Okay. I don't do any drugs, but yet my blood pressure runs high all the time.
Okay, good. Easy to take care of. You sound like you got a lot of life force there, June, so we're going to get you taken care of, and you've got some good habits, so this should not be difficult. First of all, high blood pressure is a sign that the body's in distress. The blood pressure is the blood flow and blood pressure are tightly regulated. They have to be just so. The pressure has to be just so, and the routing of the blood has to be just so. It's an incredibly complex system, and that's why you can't drug yourself back into normal hypertension or into health with an antihypertensive. You can lower your blood pressure, but you can't get healthy. So we got to figure out, why is the body thinking? What's the emergency? Well, you answered your own question partially. Chronic entrance of toxicity into the blood is an emergency. So the first thing you want to do is you want to eliminate the toxicity. The bloating tells me something's not getting processed in the intestine, and if you're probably, 40s or 50s at least, right?
68.
Okay, so you've been doing it, whatever you've been doing a while. Your body's been in this emergency mode of operation for a long time. So if you can fast, that would be awesome. What will happen if you can fast for 2 days, when you start eating again, you're going to notice which foods are causing what more clearly. You follow me? You're going to resensitize your perception. You're going to become more attuned to what's happening in the body. The body dumbs things down, or it turns the volume down on symptomology. And when you take a couple days off from food and you start eating again, boom, you're going to say, oh my God, that caused that. You follow me? It'll be easier for you to make that link. Okay, good. That's important. That's the number one most important thing to do, actually. Second thing you want to do is you want to start using good bacteria. Bloating means gas. Gas is produced by what? Gas cells? No. What do you think produces gas?
Food.
Nah. Food initiates it, but what literally produces the gas?
Indigestion?
No.
Digestion?
No. Okay, I'll tell you. Bacteria.
Okay.
Yes, bacteria produce gas. It's a byproduct of bacteria. So if you have gas, you got a bacteria problem. Follow me? I mean, we talk about bacteria all the time, but we just don't. It's something about it. It just doesn't quite we can't get a grasp on it. But if you start to hear all the ways the bacteria are involved in our ill health, it makes perfect sense. You got bacteria; they're eating the food you're eating, same food. They're eating, and they're producing good stuff or bad stuff. If they're producing bad stuff, you're going to feel bloated. It's gas, and that can cause heartburn too. By the way, the gas can push upward, and it can cause heartburn. Get yourself on the BioLumin Nightly Essence. Start using prebiotic fiber. Grind up flax seeds in the morning and use flaxseed fiber. Start off slowly, though, because you may get really gassy when you start doing it if you do too much. So start off slowly with flax seeds, grind them up in the morning, put them in with a little goat yogurt maybe, or even just in water. Sometimes we'll just put water and flax seeds, ground up flax seeds, and drink it down, and it's delicious. Okay. And then also, there's lots more. What's that? Nightly Essence. It's called Nightly Essence. Call Longevity and tell them you want the Nightly Essence. Okay? The Fucoid Z, Ultimate Enzymes After Meals, Apple Cider Vinegar. You see how we're focusing. I'm not going to repeat myself over and over again. I'm sure people have heard this a million times, but it's the digestive protocol, basically. Then, hypertension and blood sugar issues go hand in hand. And again, if you're living the standard American diet, if you're using the standard American diet, it's impossible not to have dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar at the age of 68. It's not possible. Everybody does. It's just how we live. So start to focus on sugar. It's a major circulatory system emergency. High levels of sugar in the blood, and that's what happens as our sugar control breaks down over time. Restricting your intake of sugar, using chromium and vanadium, the Sweet Ease, making sure you're using the Healthy Start Pack and your electrical nutrients. And then the last thing, and the quickest way to lower your blood pressure, you can do this in 2 minutes, okay, is deep breathing, slow deep breathing, and also hot water, hot baths, hot tubs. Sit in a hot tub, sit in a bathtub. Okay. That'll lower your blood pressure better than any antihypertensive. How do you like that?
Okay, yeah.
Okay? All right, you got lots of stuff there. Thanks for your call, June. I love that. Thank you so much. I love that idea that a hot bath can lower your blood pressure faster than any antihypertensive and with no toxicity. It's like, why don't we have hot bath insurance, hot tub insurance? Why do we have to have drug insurance? Why don't we have hot tub insurance where every American gets guaranteed a hot tub on the government, on us? I wouldn't mind spending my tax dollars on that. All right, 844-236-6010. Got lines open for you. We'll be back right after this on The Bright Side. Don't go away. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. Let's go to Leo. What's up, Leo? Long time no talk to, buddy. Leo in Oregon. Leo?
Yes, sorry, Ben. I had the phone on mute. Yeah, it's a good show, Ben. It's good to be back on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What's going on, man? Are you still doing your show? Are you still doing yours?
I know.
Are you still doing? Why don't you give your show a plug?
Okay, it's worldgonecrazyradio.com. And actually, let's see, what would be pertinent? Oh, yeah, I have a little vaccine tab. It's a vaccine page. And I have some current event news for the vaccines. And I also have a really good exemption letter, a sample exemption letter, which I've used for my own family.
Awesome.
And my ex posted it on Facebook, and she said she had like 60 requests of people that wanted to get so I ended up putting it on my website. So one more time on the
website.
The website is worldgonecrazyradio.com.
Worldgonecrazyradio.com. You can't shorten that at all? World Gone Crazy Radio. Sorry. Worldgonecrazyradio.com.
Well, I can't run out of topics, right?
And it's a great name too, because the world seems like it's going crazy. I'm thinking it's some kind of cleansing that's taking place. I'm trying to take a positive viewpoint. Maybe we'll finally.
I'm going to give you some positive feedback on the Frankenfish that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think that the industry, the GMO industry, is going to try to keep going that route, but I think they're going to implode. And here at my local supermarket, I just see the organic food section continue to expand and expand. And and I'll give you another example. I was shopping for the rotisserie chickens, and
Right.
Open Nature puts out a rotisserie chicken where the chicken has not been given any antibiotics, no hormones.
Okay. It seems like there's some positive stuff happening, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what? Things will get so bad that we'll finally take responsibility and start to demand things, and start to eat better, start to participate. I think the doctor model is going to become ancient history in not too long. Even though it seems like it's the opposite's occurring, there's some entrenchment of the medical model, I think it's going to force a lot of people to wake up in a way that they wouldn't have otherwise.
Oh, I agree. More and more people are just. I feel that maybe it's just because I'm tuned into it, but I think people are. I talk to people with physical problems, and they've just had it with the.
They've had it, right?
They've had it, and they're trying. And this isn't me inputting anything. I'm just sitting there listening.
Yeah.
They're talking to a nutritionist. They're talking.
Yeah. That's why longevity's been catching on. That's why longevity is kind of exploding, actually, because people are. The more the medical model becomes entrenched, there seems to be like a pendulum effect that it's forcing us to wake up. It's not working. The old way is just not working, flat out. Hey, I got a bunch of calls here, Leo. What's going on? Anything I can help you with?
Okay, well, maximum effect. I thought about this. What I would really like, I think people would benefit this. One time I called into your, there was a listener that called into your show, and he said that he would engage in something called sun gazing, and I thought, what is he talking about? And you proceeded to break down why that early morning and late evening sunset and sunrise sun, why it's beneficial to us, and you gave the biological breakdown of what's happening there at the back of our eye and why that sunlight was good for us.
Isn't that interesting? Melatonin, serotonin. Did I talk about the ancient Egyptians and the 3 days in the casket part?
I don't think so.
I didn't talk about that. The mystery schools used to take advantage of the nature of serotonin and melatonin and its relationship to light and dark by burying people, and then they keep them underground away from light, and then for 3 days, and then 3 days later they would open up the casket, if it was a casket or whatever it was, and the sun would get in to these guys' eyes, the people who've been laying there, and the melatonin that had been building up for days, melatonin being a nighttime hormone, would boom get turned into serotonin real quickly, and they'd have these incredibly spiritual experiences. Elevations in serotonin, large elevations, are associated with spirituality. So there's a whole kind of interesting relationship between our mood and the way we think and our brain health and the sun via the pineal gland, the eyes, and this melatonin-serotonin relationship. And I hope I didn't make that too confusing for people to understand. But it all has to do with melatonin and serotonin. And that's one of the reasons why serotonin reuptake or drugs, SRUs or SRIs, serotonin reuptake inhibitor drugs, Prozac and such, that's why they're so problematic, and that's why they're associated with violent behaviors, because serotonin is a awakening hormone. Serotonin is responsible for our perception of reality, really. A lot of our perception of reality is associated with serotonin and also something called DMT, which is produced in the pineal gland. Very fascinating relationship between our consciousness and the way we think, and fear and vigilance and awareness, and serotonin, melatonin, and also tryptamines like DMT from the pineal gland. All of these you can help make your own serotonin, by the way. First of all, sunlight is a great way to make serotonin, obviously, as we just said, but you can help yourself make serotonin by understanding how to use vegetables and protein. Vegetables and protein together initiate serotonin production, specifically carbohydrates and protein together. In fact, we'll talk a little bit about carbohydrates and protein tomorrow. Carbohydrates and protein together have a serotonin stimulating effect. Now, that's one of the reasons why we're addicted to sugar, by the way. Maybe the reason why we're addicted to sugar. Why carbs are comfort foods, because carbs will help you upregulate serotonin. And that's why you want to go veggie carb. Yes.
Ben, you were talking about gas earlier, and that's one of the things that I don't think I hear enough of, is that mixing of the proteins and the starches together.
Yeah.
And if you notice, beans and legumes are a natural protein starch combination, and that's why they're notorious for giving
gas. That's very true.
And if you separate those two, not only that, if you separate them, if you have your proteins with vegetables and your starches with vegetables, your body can break them down way better.
Absolutely.
And you have tons of energy left over.
Absolutely.
And you don't have that much more time. And you don't. I've taken it to the best lab in the world, my own body.
Yes, right.
People can try it out, and it works amazingly.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about starches. You want to stick to the veggies. The starchy foods like potatoes and rice and grain and beans, they're not necessarily in your interest, and it's probably best to kind of keep as little as possible. They're comfort foods. You know what I'm saying?
I knew you would say that. And it's true. But if you're going to, because people still, if you're accustomed to those things, I mean, if you want to phase them out, and it's amazing. I saw something about Arnold Schwarzenegger the other day, and the way that they were eating, and they were only eating proteins and vegetables. They weren't
exactly. And fats. You got to get your fats in there, though, especially
and the fats. They were doing that for the milk.
Yes, and salt. He just hit the hot button, the major hot buttons. It's protein, it's vegetables, it's oil, fats, I should say, coconut oil, butter, nutritional oils as well. And then there's a whole controversy around oils that I don't want to get necessarily into, and salt. And all of this, that's basically it right there. Now, it's filling, it's satisfying, and you hit the nail on the head when you said something earlier. You have energy. It gives you energy, right? If you feel tired after you ate, that's an indicator. If you feel like you need a nap, and I know exactly that feeling. It happens every time I eat pasta. I feel like I need a nap, right? If you feel like you need a nap after you ate, that's the wrong food.
It's the wrong food. However, if you eat a steak and potato, that stays in your stomach for approximately 8 hours, not even passing into your intestine.
Right, and it stays in the intestine a while as well.
If you just eat the potato with the salad, or if you just eat the steak with the salad, you cut that time in half.
That's a good point. Now, the steak itself is going to be harder to process. And steak is really interesting food, by the way. Meat is really interesting food because there's zillions of problems associated with meat, but it's so valuable from a nutritional standpoint that it's just really tough to duplicate meat. And likewise, by the way, with dairy. Dairy is very complex food and a very, very problematic food, but the nutrients in the dairy, they're just really, they're singular in nature, and there's nothing like them in nature. The proteins, the growth factors, and if you're vegan and vegetarian, you miss out on a lot of things. Go ahead. Last word, Leo. We're out of time.
Okay. Well, since I've been listening to your show, I've actually cut down on my fruit intake. Although I do think it's the minimal impact food for the morning on your body rhythms. But anyway, I have cut down, and I get the organic fruit does have less sugar, and you can taste that. But the other thing I've added to my diet is the whey protein from non-pasteurized source.
Where do you get it?
I've gotten from One World Whey.
Good deal. Leo, I got to go, man. I'm just flat out of time, buddy. Good to talk to you, though. Thanks for your call. Sorry we left you on hold. If we left you on hold, we'll get to you tomorrow. If you call, tell our call screener, we'll get you first up. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening, friends. Have an awesome, wonderful, beautiful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.
Your house is under attack. Every day, our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit wavehomesolutions.com. That's wavehomesolutions.com or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Just recently, we've witnessed some of the most catastrophic disasters in history. Be sure to prepare yourself with great-tasting, high-quality, GMO-free food that has a 25-year shelf life. Of course, we're talking about the foods from SurvivalFoodAlliance.com. And don't forget, the human body needs up to 3 quarts of water every day to remain healthy and hydrated. So check out our water bricks at SurvivalFoodAlliance.com. Go to SurvivalFoodAlliance.com or call 877-223-1776.
Your house is under attack. Every day, our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit wavehomesolutions.com. That's wavehomesolutions.com or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
If you're like me, you're concerned about the stock market and the economy. You're asking the questions, but it just doesn't seem that you're getting the right answers. Well, my friends at the Wealth Preservation Institute not only have the answers, but they've put together a free report, How to Survive the Upcoming Economic Collapse and Protect Your 401ks, IRA savings, and retirement income. Don't hesitate. This report's for free for a limited time by calling 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929. Take back your financial lives today.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
I want to be able to smoke inside, cut down on cigarettes, jog without wheezing, be kissable, and save money.
Then you want LeSig e-cigarettes. Get the highest quality, best tasting vaping experience on the market with unmatched customer service from LeSig. And right now, gobble up this deal. Buy $30 worth of any products and get a starter kit for only $5. Use code SK at checkout. But hurry, offer good only until Thanksgiving at LeSig.com. LECIG.com. Kick some ash with LeSig.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined, from where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at disappearingdollar.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to disappearingdollar.com. Again, that's disappearingdollar.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
The following is an important holiday inventory announcement from IDStronghold.com.
As many of you have come to know, IDStronghold.com is the #1 name in quality RFID blocking wallets that actually do as they say and prevent electronic pickpocketing of the new RFID chips found in credit cards, room keys, subway passes, and more. Last year, due to the extreme popularity of giving ID Stronghold wallets and clutches as unique gifts at Christmas time, we ran out of our most popular styles and colors early. The good news is, we now have our holiday inventory ready for same-day shipping. We have added many more designs of beautiful leather wallets and clutches, all with state-of-the-art built-in electronic pickpocket shielding from the most respected name in RFID protection, IDStronghold.com. Don't wait and limit your choices of these great gifts. We are expecting another sellout season. These wallets aren't available in stores, so visit IDStronghold.com today. That's IDStronghold.com.